If you've ever driven through Hemet, California, you may think this is just a quiet, sleepy commuter town, maybe for retirees, but actually Hemet, California has some rich history, some of the richest in all of Riverside County. We've got movie stars, some financial history, all sorts of stuff. I want to share with you 10 super fascinating facts that you may or may not have known about Hemet, California. If you're thinking about moving here, this gives you an idea of how the place was founded and what comes along with living in Hemet. And if you already live in Hemet, then maybe some fun facts for you to share with your friends at your next dinner party. Let's get to it. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Lewis, your local Temecula Valley realtor, and this channel is dedicated to all things living in the Temecula Valley. From new construction tours, to neighborhood spotlights, to new things coming here to the valley. I want you and your family to know exactly what it's like living here before you make the move. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to it. All right, so like I said, we are going to deliver on the promise of delivering to you 10 fun and interesting facts about living in Hemet, California. Let's get to it. Fact number one is that Hemet was actually once part of a massive ranch. This was actually 48,000 acres, once known as the San Jacinto Ranch. This was part of a Mexican land grant that dates all the way back to 1842. And over time, some developers traveled into the area. You've got Whittier and Mayberry, who both came in and purchased the land and began to build the place out in the late 1800s. And that's why as you drive through Hemet today, you will see the streets of Whittier and Mayberry. Fun fact number two is that Hemet is home to one of California's longest running plays. Dating all the way back to the spring of 1923, every single spring, they put on what is known as the Ramona pageant. This is based off of Helen Hunt Jackson's play, or Helen Hunt Jackson's book, rather, Ramona. This is held in the Ramona Bowl, which is actually tucked up inside of the hills of Hemet, and it is actually one of the longest running plays actually in the entire United States. Happens every single spring, thousands of people attend it. It's just a fun little fact that it's been going on for so long and people come year after year to enjoy it. Fun fact number three is that Hemet once helped Hollywood shine. Back in the early 1900s, before we had these big fancy movie sets and studio setups that made any world a reality inside of a building, Hemet was actually the backdrop to many classic Western movies and shows throughout history in the early 1900s. Some of those, like The Lone Ranger and Stagecoach, were filmed with Hemet as the backdrop. So before all the fancy studios, the Western feel, the deserty feel that comes along with Hemet was actually featured in many shows and movies. Fun fact number four is that you can thank Hemet for Diamond Valley Lake. So this was actually constructed in the 1990s. This is actually a water reservoir that actually supplies up to 1 million homes of water per year. And so this was man-made, it was built over time, and Hemet really brought that to life. Now this water has a super important role in the Southern California water supply, and it also has some really great fishing and boating that you're allowed to do in the area there. So if you like the outdoors, this is an opportunity for you to get out and do some water activities there. Now you don't typically just get to jet ski and boat and all that kind of stuff around there. So there's some limitations to things, but you do have some really great options as far as entertainment to do with that. Now another fun fact just tied on to this one is that some mammoths and some saber-toothed fossils were found while constructing this area in the 1990s. So some really fun history that comes along with Diamond Valley Lake. Fun fact number five is that the growth of Hemet was really fueled by the California Southern Railroad. So back in the 1880s, this railroad actually started to allow people to start to export and import things in and out of the area, which helped some of the farmers, which is what Hemet has been known for. Like I said, it started as a ranch, a big, large ranch, and then developed over time. And so as the railroad came and had some stops here nearby, that allowed for some of those people to start to import and export some things, start to make some money that brought people to the area and attracted people. So if you kind of look at California history and actually the Western United States, really, as railroads were built, that's where you started to see civilization pop up over time, and Hemet was simply one of those. while we're on the topic of exports, actually Hemet was one of the first areas to start to export its own butter. Fun fact number 6 is that Hemet was actually the birthplace of a baseball great. Cody Bellinger, who played for the Dodgers, was a 2019 National League MVP and is a World Series champion. He actually grew up in Hemet, played Little League here locally, and basically grew up here before he went pro. So while I hate to admit it, as an Angels fan, no hate in the comments, I know I'm faithful even when they're not great. Even as an Angels fan, it is cool to know that Hemet gave birth to a Dodger great. Fun fact number 7 is that Hemet is home to some pretty extreme weather. So when you are living here in Hemet, you can experience freezing cold temperatures in the mornings and triple-digit heat in the afternoon. Sometimes locals here will joke and say that you can experience all 4 seasons before lunch because it is kind of a deserty feel. And so deserts get really cold at night and can get really hot during the day, and you do get to experience that inside of Hemet. Now, that doesn't mean that we're up over 100 degrees here in Hemet all year round, but you do have some stretches of maybe a week or 2 per year where you're up over the 100 mark, and then usually your average temperature falling right around 95 degrees or so, but a pretty wild place as far as weather extremes go. Fun fact number 8 is that this was a city built on citrus and dairy. Hemet was actually known for its orange groves, its dairies, and even some alfalfa farms. And actually back in the early 1900s, the Hemet orange was one of the most recognized varieties of oranges shipped out of California, and so that's a pretty unique piece of things. You can still see some remnants of some of the history as far as the agriculture grows when you're driving down Florida Avenue in Hemet. So there's still some packing houses and things like that have been turned into restaurants and breweries and things like that. So some super fun throwback to the early history of the orange groves, dairy farms, and alfalfa farms. Fun fact number 9 is that the Hemet Theater has survived for over 100 years. Built back in 1921, this theater is one of the longest continually running theaters in the country. Now, it has survived the Great Depression, multiple fires, ownership changes, and it still is around today in operation and actually run by a local nonprofit for music and film displays. And fun fact number 10 is that it is said that Florida Avenue once held more money on it than Wall Street. Now, according to the numbers, that's probably not necessarily the case, but Hemet was built to be one of the booming retirement communities inside of Southern California. Now, take your mind and think Palm Springs, what Palm Springs has turned into. That's a destination that people go to retire and visit and vacation, and that's really what Hemet was designed to be, but it just never happened. And so it's said that the banks on Florida Avenue held most of the retirement accounts for wealthy people because that's where they planned to retire, and things just didn't work out. And so that money got pulled out of there and shipped over to Wall Street. But it is a fun fact that while maybe it's not necessarily true that it had more money than Wall Street, that this was supposed to be the premier retirement place, a vacation destination, and it just never turned out that way. But the banks definitely held a ton of money. All right, so that is it for our 10 fun and interesting facts about Hemet, California. Thanks for tuning in today. Hey, if you're thinking about moving to Hemet, California, or anywhere here in the Temecula Valley, feel free to reach out to myself and my team. We would love to hear from you. You can call us, you can text us, you can send an email, or you can even schedule a one-on-one Zoom consultation. Just click on the description below. It takes you directly to a link that you can click and go to our calendar to book a one-on-one Zoom call. Whether you are thinking about moving in 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, it doesn't matter. We're happy to have that conversation with you now and help you decide if this is the right place. You can reach out. Trust me, it's not weird. People do it all the time. We sell 20 plus homes a year to people who reach out to us from our YouTube channel alone. It's a lot of fun to share all these facts with you guys, and I really appreciate your support in watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to our videos. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.